I'm a Georgia Bulldog till I die. Red and black running deep inside. Got that pride, you can see it in my eyes. Stand tall, yeah, we working through the night. GA, that's right.
Welcome back, everybody. Y'all see me in rare form right now. I don't have the Georgia hat on. I got plenty of them in the back and some downstairs, but I don't have a Georgia hat on today. I'm in rare form, baby. What's happening with everybody? Shabazz, what it is, man, for jumping off in the live early. What it is. Got to give you a round of applause for always staying down with the home team. You know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm just waiting on a couple of the, dogs to come off in the chat. Hey, man, I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting to talk about this with the chat because I did a video that did very well. I did a video yesterday and I said that I was going to come live and we were going to chop it up about a couple of guys that, well, really just two guys that I've seen in the last couple of days that expected, I would say, might be expected to come to the University of Georgia. I got my phone up right now because I had to screenshot these guys because I was digging a little deep last night and in the day before to kind of find out, who was actually looking to come to Georgia. I know it's early right now, so you're not gonna have a ton of guys, but there is a lot of guys that is hitting the transfer portal early. So what you saying, Shabazz, real quick? How much for that girly jersey? No, man. This is. Oh, you said my bad, Chuck. Okay, nah. You said how much for it? I think that jersey was like I don't know, man. I forgot. I done had it so long. I forgot how much the thing was. To be honest with you, to be honest, man. But yeah, man. Back to what I was saying, man. It's two main guys that I've been seeing recently that they're talking about that might be coming to the University of Georgia. We don't know. It's early right now. It is a good bit of guys that is already in the transfer portal. A lot of those guys, I would say this portion of the season, a lot of those guys are either very young guys that feel like they're not going to get their start at whatever program they're at, or either guys that's not really good. So I'm not expecting to land somebody right off right now, especially before the portal actually opens up, you know what I mean? So in January is when it officially opens up, but guys could already, enter their name. So as we know, Daniel Harris already entered his name, and so he's going to be transferring out, which we expected that anyway, especially with Ellis Robinson stepping his game up the way he did. But it's two guys, man, Khalil Barnes and Tavion Wallace. Let me see if I can pull these guys up too. I want to eventually pull these guys up. Do you think we could get DJ Lagway if he transfer? I don't think that DJ Lagway will do well at Georgia. I think that DJ Lagway, in my opinion, I think that DJ Lagway is, I don't know if I want to call him a bust. I just don't think he'll fit for Georgia. I don't see him playing for Georgia, even though, like in my last video, I did talk about grabbing a quarterback out of the transfer portal, but I don't think DJ Lagway would be the guy that we would pull out the transfer portal, right? Because we still need a guy that can, make it happen. If anything was to happen, God forbid it happened to Gunnar Stockton, we would still need a quarterback that can make it happen. I don't think that DJ Lagway would be a good fit for the University of Georgia. And I'm just judging based on his last couple of, seasons that he's, the seasons that he did play for Florida. I don't feel like he would be a good fit, but you just never know, man. You never know who we may land up with. When I did the video, I talked about the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and the linebackers, and that's mainly what I wanted to focus on because I think that Georgia needs to focus on those three positions. For the most part, mainly the wide receivers because we got so many guys that are seniors, and I think that for the most part, we tend to, like, I didn't talk about it in the last video that I did. I didn't talk about it, but that's something that I wanted to touch on, the fact that Georgia don't tend to land quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. If you think of the last couple of years, I think we only landed two guys. I could be wrong. Y'all correct me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, but it was two guys, JT Daniels and Jamie Newman. Okay, with JT Daniels, he played a couple of games for us, and he did pretty good against Mississippi State that season, throwing like I think he threw like 4 or 5 touchdowns, right? That game, right? But he had an oblique injury and ultimately lost his job. He eventually transferred out and went over to the Huskies. Jamie Newman, he came in. I thought that he was going to start for us. He didn't. He eventually opted out and went on and into the draft, and we haven't heard from him since. But at the end of the day, I just feel as if typically we don't grab quarterbacks out of the portal. We always have a decent quarterback, and to be honest with you, you don't necessarily need like a high-powered quarterback to win a national championship. We've already proven that twice. So long as you have a decent defense and some guys out there that can go up for 50-50 balls, and that's kind of what I'm expecting to see Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo do, go into the transfer portal and grab some guys out of the transfer portal as far as the wide receivers goes. Because like I say, if all fail and Kobe Young don't come back, and which I think Kobe Young may come back, but he is a senior. Noah Thomas, he is a senior. Zachariah Branch, we all know he's eligible to go ahead on in after, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of looking at it like that. Like, wait a minute, we may need to go in there and grab a wide receiver or two. And I think that'll happen because we're known to do that. Excuse me, y'all. I'm congested in the mug. This weather is crazy, so excuse me for the sniffing and trying to clear my passageway. Said would be pointless to get Eric Dallas said it would be pointless to get DJ. Yeah, I ain't really too concerned with DJ Lagway. But Cam Coleman would be a great addition. Cam Coleman, yeah. When it comes to the wide receivers, I think that Cam Coleman would be a good addition to the offensive line, or the offense to the wide receiver room. But we just don't know right now. It's just a whole thing of who are we going to pull in. Now, let me go back to Khalil Barnes. I think a couple of people already know about this. If you've been searching around, you pretty much already know about this. But Khalil Barnes, he was a starter for Clemson. I think they said he started 9 of 10 games for Clemson. And I just think that wait a minute. He was a 3-star. I will say that he was a 3-star, but that don't matter. At the end of the day, he did start 9 of 10 games for Clemson, and then you got Tavion Wallace. He wasn't a starter. I will say that he was not a starter. You know what I mean? But he appeared in 9 games for Arkansas during the 2025 season. His role was mostly on special teams and limited defense snaps, not as a full-time starter. He recorded 2 tackles across the appearance. So these are guys that may be coming to Georgia. These are not, they haven't said anything like publicly or anything like that, but these are guys that they are talking about that could possibly come to Georgia. And I think that Georgia needs to hit all of the positions that I spoke on. Not so much so the quarterback position, but mainly the wide receiver position and even the defense. I know a lot of people are very high on the guys that we already got, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, and we do have some dogs. Don't get it twisted. We do have some dogs, right? But at the same time, I think we still need to, just really go into it. And I know with Kirby Smart, he don't specifically point out what positions, but at the end of the day, I know that he's going to definitely look at that defense. He's going to definitely look at the wide receiver room. So those 2 things mainly I think he'll be really looking at for the most part. But if it was up to me, I would definitely grab a quarterback, because we don't know what's going to happen with Gunnar Stockton. God forbid it happening, but we don't know if he'll get hurt. And then also Ryan Puglisi, I'm not sure if he can, command this team the way Gunnar Stockton has all season. But he'll still have this up and coming all season to get it right. So maybe he could, if anything was to happen to Gunnar Stockton. But the fact that we don't know yet, I don't want to jinx the team. I don't want to make it seem like something is going to happen to Gunnar. So hopefully, he'll be, back with us next season, healthy and ready to go. So that's why I'm not putting too much. But if it's up to me, I would get a quarterback in there. Wide receivers, like I just talked about. We all know about the wide receivers and about majority of them being seniors. Dylan Bell, Noah Thomas, Kobe Young, Zachariah Branch. He's a sophomore, junior right now, but still, as good as he's playing, he's going to be eligible to go in. And then you got the defense side of the ball, which, we are stacked. we right. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily got to worry about that side of the ball either, but I still would love to have experienced guys over talent because the guys that we have are a lot of them are young and but they're very talented. But I'll take experience over talent. So when guys like Janelle Guerrero and Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen, guys like that, and Gabe Harris, when guys like that start to decide if they want to enter the draft, we're going to need some, backup guys that's got somewhat of some experience. And not saying that they're going to leave after this season, but I think those guys are eligible to be able to leave after this season. So we just never know until they put it out there that they will be. But either way it go, I think that Georgia still will be good. I just think that we just want to make sure we dive in there and grab the right people. And it may not be a whole lot in this winter cycle. It may not be a whole lot of guys. We don't tend to go in there and grab a whole bunch of guys. But I know as far as this season goes, we definitely grab the right guy in Zach Branch. So kudos to the Georgia Bulldogs for that one. And shout out to everybody in the chat. They said, now I heard a source that Branch might have to come back if the NFL stock is low. I think for majority of these guys, if they draft is low, they probably will come back. I hope that Branch comes back, and I tend to think that he will, but just not sure. That's why the portal is available for you to kind of look in to see who's in there, right? Dang, I got the notification. Oh, shout out to Jessica, man, for getting the notification, man. Give you a round of applause. Shabazz said, do Charlotte Panthers have a home game tonight? Because the traffic is backed up. We haven't moved for 15 minutes. They might do have a home game tonight. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure about that. And like I said, excuse my congestion, y'all, because I'm coming down with it, and I'm trying to still do this live with being congested, and I'm trying to clear my passageway. That's why I got me a little liquor in my cup. They say the liquor kill the germs, so I'm trying to, get rid of this thing as quick as possible because I got to go up to New Jersey in another week. So I want to be clear for that because I know it's way colder than it is here in South Carolina up there. So I want to be, ready and for that. But yeah, y'all see I ain't got no hat on today, man. I'm kind of like naked right now, man. I feel naked in the mug right now, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm still good. I'm good. How y'all feeling out there tonight? Hey, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, too. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come in because it does help the channel get out there. So make sure y'all do that. New Jersey, boy, you about to freeze. Oh, man, not really, man. But one thing about New Jersey one thing about the cold weather, I'm comfortable with the cold weather. It's, long as I'm bundled up and I got on the right stuff, I'm good. You know what I mean? Been up there multiple times. I know how their weather is, so I'm really prepared for it. You just got to be prepared for it. That's all. Bruce Taylor, what's good, man? Got to give Bruce Taylor a round of applause. Yo, we in here, man. You know what we talking about, man. We talking about that transfer portal and who do y'all think we should grab up? I know a lot of people always say Cam Coleman, and I even believe that he would be a pickup, but I haven't seen anything about him going into the transfer portal. Maybe he hadn't said nothing yet. Just got to wait to January just to really see the dogs, because I believe in January that's when we'll see guys that that's worth bringing to the University of Georgia. A lot of times early like this, which is not that early, but it's kind of early, you're not going to see too many guys right now. You're going to see a lot of like young guys and a lot of guys that really wasn't that good, so they couldn't start. You know what I mean? So I don't want any guy like that. I want guys that were starters and guys that's coming to be a dog. Why does Kirby want so many quarterbacks? Well, Kirby, like I said in the video, I don't know if you watched the video that I put out yesterday. Kirby spoken in the press conference that he always would like to have 5 scholarship quarterbacks. And the reason why I think is because if one goes down, one gets hurt, he got a backup guy, somebody that can fill that void. For instance, I think that we have 5 right now. And he wants somebody that's going to be worth it, right? So it's best to have at least 5 guys on the roster rather than 2 or 3. Because if we left with 2 or 3, you got to think Gunnar Stockton is the only one with the real experience. Ryan Puglisi hasn't got that much experience, But if something was to happen to Gunnar Stockton right now, we don't know if Ryan Puglisi would be ready to take over. Ryan Montgomery is not ready to take over. Coulter Jen, whatever his name is, I know he's not ready to take over. Hazika, I hope I'm saying his name right. I could be saying his name wrong. Millender, he's not ready to take over. He just committed. Well, not just committed to Georgia, but he hasn't had any playing time. You know what I mean? So I think that's why Kirby Smart loves to have at least 5 guys on the roster just in case anything was to happen. And if you don't have those guys, you're going to be lost in the sauce. If you don't have, multiple quarterbacks, you're going to be lost in the sauce. Max say, would Lagway be a good fit? Yeah, Shabazz talked about that. I don't believe Lagway will be a good fit. Just judging based on what he's done all season, I just don't feel like he would be a good fit. I feel like he hold on to the ball too long. And he just hasn't shown really anything outside of him having a good arm. He really hasn't shown me really too much of anything, especially when we play him. I know we're a different type of breed, but when we play him, I'm just not seeing enough. Maybe with somebody else, he's looking better, but I don't know. Maybe he could be a good fit. Excuse me, y'all. But I'll just say this though. I don't necessarily think that Kirby is gonna grab a quarterback. I would hope he would. But I'm not necessarily sure that he's focused on the quarterback position per se, because you do have Gunnar Stockton and he's healthy, and you do have Ryan Puglisi. You know what I mean? So with having somewhat of some experience in SEC football, so you do have a backup right now. So I don't think that he's really, and nobody's really worried about Gunnar Stockton leaving, right? Nobody's really thinking about that, which he could, but no, I doubt that. I doubt Gunnar Stockton leave, but yeah, a quarterback would be good to have just in case the worst happens. But I think Buddy from South Carolina is supposed to be hitting the portal. You talking about Sellers? You talking about Sellers? Yeah, Sellers. I heard that he wasn't hitting the portal. But I heard this like about a month ago. I heard that he wasn't thinking about hitting the portal and that he's coming back, and that Shane Beamer is suspected to be way better next season than they are this season. So, man, I really don't know if he'll come back, man. I don't know, man. But, it will be some dogs. It will be some dogs come January hitting that portal. And Kirby Smart is going to be diving headfirst in it to find the guys that they feel like will be a good fit, whether they quarterbacks, wide receivers, whatever. Max say he ain't no gunner. We need some weapons like Zach. Facts. That's a big fact. You know what I'm saying? Honest question, do we need Gunner to come back, or do we let the next quarterback play so like Pug or Montgomery don't hit the portal? If we want to win the national championship, to answer your question, Jessica, I believe that we need Gunner to come back. I don't believe, like, say we don't win it this season, right? And come next season, we're going to be expected to win it. We're going to be expected to win it because that's what we expect every season, to win a national championship, right? We're going to need a guy like Gunnar Stockton, because not only is Gunnar Stockton pretty good, he protects the ball well. I think he only got like 5 interceptions on the season. I mean, that's great, right? So we're going to need somebody like Gunnar Stockton to be able to command that offense the way he does and have the whole offense play for him. So I don't know if Pug has that just yet. Pug just a freshman. So I don't know if he has it just yet, but I get what you're saying about Pug or Montgomery leaving, because if he does come back, that says that somebody may decide to go ahead and leave, but we just don't know until it actually happens. But, me personally, I'm not really too concerned about either one of those guys leaving, because I feel like we still got, a dog coming in, the number 1 overall, if we can keep him, right? And that's why I talk about him at my channel, because little do people know these guys are on social media. This is one of the things that I be wanting to talk about too, that I don't necessarily get to talk about in the video because I don't be thinking at the time. But a lot of times, man, players stay at Georgia due to the fan base sometimes. Don't get it twisted and think these guys are not on social media. These guys are on social media. And the way they talked about Jared Curtis and the way they hyped him up, oh, Jared Curtis, and next thing you know, he decided to just leave us like that, right? So that's why I was talking about Jaden Wade, because I felt like, no, I'm going to hype this guy up. He's the number one overall pick. Yeah, he's verbally committed and it's early. You know, he's for the class of 28, but he can reclassify to the class of 27. And we want guys like that to stay at the University of Georgia. 5-star guy, not really big, like 190 pounds or something like that. But still, we want guys like that to stay committed to the University of Georgia. So the best way is to promote him. The best way is to support his decision to be at Georgia, not to discredit him or discourage him. And I think that's what the fan base does sometimes. And that's what allows players, because Stetson Bennett felt it from us. He definitely felt it. I'm not saying that he would have transferred, because he wouldn't have got his start nowhere else. So no, he wouldn't have transferred, but he felt the heat from the fan base. Carson Beck definitely felt the heat from the fan base. So these guys do see what's going on social media. So rather than discourage him, oh, you ain't gonna play, like they said about him, Hazika Miller. Oh, he ain't gonna never play for Georgia. Like, these are the things that people say that causes these players to transfer. That's why we never really do see 5-stars play for the University of Georgia, because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it be the way the fan base is. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I talk about Jaden Wade so much on my channel versus any other platforms, because I want that guy to come to stay at the University of Georgia, fully commit and play for the University of Georgia. We haven't not had a number one quarterback in the nation play for the University of Georgia. The last one that we had, I think, was Justin Fields, and we see what happened with that. So I would love to get a guy like that, you know what I mean, to play for the University of Georgia. But that's why I keep promoting him and saying his name. But shout out to Jaden Wade, man. I hope you stay with Georgia. I hope you fully commit to the University of Georgia. I want you at Georgia. I want to see you playing at Georgia. And I'm going to keep promoting your name, man. Shout out to Jaden Wade, man. I'm going to give him a round of a damn applause. Yo. Dylan Stewart, okay. But Sellers won't take no backup role. No, he ain't. I doubt that. I doubt that. Sellers is staying. Yeah, that's what I heard, man. See, what up, man? What up, go dog? Yeah. You already know it, man. See, Gunner has also earned the right to come back. We better with Gunner Stockton. Yeah. I believe we'll be better with Gunner Stockton than the other guys, just based off of experience, man. I always tend to say Ryan Puglisi, if he ran with the number one offensive line, I believe he'll have the same type of success. You know, hold on, y'all. What was that? Oh, somebody subscribed. My bad, y'all. Somebody subscribed, and I just heard I heard the sound. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize for stopping midway in my conversation, man. Somebody subscribed. Yeah, but anyway, man, my bad. I heard this loud sound. I'm like, damn, what was that? But anyway, we're better with Gunner Stockton. All right, that's point blank, period. Ryan Puglisi, I think that he'll be a good quarterback for the University of Georgia. I just don't feel like he has what it takes to run this offense the way Gunner has. So I would rather put my money on Gunner, because me personally, I'm about experience more than talent. So do you truly honestly think that Gunner can be the quarterback? I like Gunner, and I think he's good, but I do worry that he can do just enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nervous. Yeah, I think Gunner is. I don't want to say this early, but I think Gunner is almost reaching his ceiling. Right? Maybe next year he'll be a lot better, but I think Gunner is good. Like, I think he'll be good. I think, he does all the right things. He's not flashy, and I think a lot of us are looking for that. Kilo, what's up, man? He's not flashy like that. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's getting the job done. I know a lot of people, like Jessica says, she's worried about him, kind of nervous. I don't want to say that. I think that this is his first starting season. So for some quarterbacks, they got to find a rhythm. They got to find out who they are on the field. You know what I mean? Some guys can come in as freshmen and take off. Some guys can come in and dominate. But at the same time, sometimes it takes you to be on the field. It takes you to play those games week in and week out to see what type of quarterback you really are. And I think that Gunnar Stockton is one of those quarterbacks that's not flashy. He's not one of those big-time playmakers, but he can get the job done. So we have had success with him, obviously. You know what I mean? We only took one loss this season, and we looked kind of shaky early on in the season, but I think that was just him getting his footings and trying to find out who he is as, a quarterback. So I think he'll be good. I think Gunnar has under his belt experience, and he's only going to carry that very well into the next season. Yeah, definitely. But I think he has pretty much met his ceiling. I could be wrong. I don't see Gunnar making a whole full transition next season to just be this, he could be though. I don't want to take nothing from him and discourage him, but just judging based on what we see this season, unless we get some guys like Zachariah Branch out there, I don't see where Gunnar, and we're going to need to do that. We're going to need to do that because as we can see this season, we don't know where we would be without Zach Branch. So we're going to need guys like Zach Branch to come on over and transfer or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But I think Taylor going to be one of those highlighted guys, one of those flashy guys. I think he's going to do very well. Don't disregard that drop touchdown pass. I think he'll do very well coming in for Gunnar Stockton as well. Just in case we don't have guys like Noah Thomas and Kobe Young, we'll still have guys like Taylor, C.J. Wiley, Sokovie White. So, and we seen flashes of Sokovie White also. So y'all got to remember that too. So we'll still have a couple of weapons around him to get the job done. I also forget that he was highly recruited quarterback at UGA. For whatever reason, stays sit for some years. We don't hear about him after commit. Who you talking about, Jessica? Damn, excuse me, y'all. I'm congested in the mug right now. The fourth down throw in Tennessee showed the kid has stones and he delivers. You got to have that to win. Gunnar doesn't lose the game. I just want to see more of Tennessee game. Gunnar, okay, yeah, true that. I don't love Gunnar's game, but I do believe that he can get the job done. Facts. Yeah, he prioritized taking care of the ball, which is major. Exactly. You know what I mean? Pug is a redshirt freshman in his second year. Yep. Zach is Gunnar's bread and butter. Yep. All our quarterbacks. All right, let me go back up to what you said, Jessica. I also forget how highly quarterback. Oh, you talking about all? Yeah. Well, I mean, all of them are pretty. All of them are 4 stars. All 3 of them. Ryan Puglisi, Gunnar Stockton, just as well as Ryan Montgomery. Hezekiah Miller, he's like a 3-star. Coulter Jen, I don't know if he even. I don't know. I didn't look too far into him because I know he's not gonna play for Georgia. So I just didn't really look too far into him. So yeah, that's actually yeah. Gunnar Stockton, Ryan Puglisi, Ryan Montgomery, Coulter Jen, and Ezekiel. So that's 5 guys. But my thing is all of these guys are decent quarterbacks if they get put in the right position. And I think if you got weapons around you, you got to think Gunnar Stockton got weapons around him. And just imagine if Gunnar Stockton didn't have Zachariah Branch, I don't know where this team would be. So it's not always just the quarterback. That's why I say you don't have to have a 5-star, quarterback to win big games, because at the end of the day, you still need the weapons around you, right? You still need your tight ends, right? You still need your wide receivers. And that's the main thing about it. So even if they did have Ryan Puglisi or Ryan Montgomery, however, they would still need the weapons needed to get the job done. But Gunnar Stockton is doing pretty good. So I'm not expecting, nothing less than what we've seen this season. As long as we have the weapons, I think we'll be good. You know what I mean? Nick Saban offered Gunnar. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. But Saban, he offered Beck. He offered Beck too. People forget Gunnar is like the most decorated quarterback in Georgia high school. He looked like every current high school record for real. Gunnar. I mean, high school is one thing, and I would love for him to look like that at Georgia. But long as he's getting the job done, now, I'm gonna keep saying that. Long as he getting the job done, Gunner's cool. I expect Sokovie White to be a breakout player next year. And I want to see that also. I want to see Jacoby White. I want to see C.J. Wiley. I want to see Talon Taylor. You know what I mean? I want to see some of the tight ends. Now they've been talking about the new tight end that just came in. I can't even pronounce his name. Prefler or Caden Prefler or whatever his name is. Protho or something like that. Anyway, excuse me, y'all. He looks dynamic. He looks dynamic. You know what I mean? And he is fully bought in. As far as what I seen, and I seen him talk about, pro throw. Yeah, pro throw. That's it, Kilo. Yeah, I seen him talk about, Jared Curtis and, as far as guys not wanting to stay with the University of Georgia. I don't know. A lot of guys leave for their own reasons. I really didn't care about Jared Curtis because I kind of already knew. Like, that was his hometown. He was out there going to games, paying his own way. And like I told Mundo, when he called up to the show, I told Mundo, I say, man, that man paid for his own ticket. So that lets you know he really wanted to be there. Now, it'd be one thing if they paid for him, you know what I mean? But they didn't even have to pay for his ticket. He paid his own ticket to be at Vanderbilt, at that Vanderbilt game. And I knew off rip. What you think? He was just going to be sitting in the crowd and nobody was going to go speak to him? None of the recruiters was going to go holler at him like, hey, man, like, you know what I mean? So I knew off rip. Once I found out that he paid his way for that game, I knew off rip he was gone. You know what I mean? But we still got a number one, and we got to continue to talk about this guy so that he wants to fully commit to the University of Georgia. Right now it's verbal, but I'm gonna keep talking about him over here at the Doghouse, and that's my guy Jaden Wade. You know what I mean? Our defense should be legit next year. Hopefully we can keep the ones we want. Yeah. But it's a lot. On the defense side of the ball, and that's what a lot of guys do. They'll see the fact that, man, it's a lot of talent over here. I can't really compete, so they'll start transferring out. You know what I'm saying? But that lets you know who's a dog and who's not a dog, right? If you stay, that let me know that you down for the challenge. That let me know that you're a real dog and you want to fight. You want to put up a fight. But a lot of guys can't handle it, so they'll transfer out. So a lot of times it don't just be money. It don't be just guys just want money. No, they know they can't outbeat this dude right here because this dude is just as good as I am. You know what I mean? Everybody on the defense 4 and 5 stars. We don't have a whole lot of 3-star guys back there. So at the end of the day, you have to grind it out, man. You have to play tough football. You know what I'm saying? We have an NFL. I think we got like 1 or 2 NFL coaches on in our coaching staff. So you're gonna grind it out, bro. So if you ain't willing to stand in the fire, then hey, go ahead and transfer out, man. Like Kirby always speak about, we want the guys that want to be at the University of Georgia. We don't want you just thinking that you about to come and get it easy. You're gonna work for everything, bro. You're gonna work for that starting position. And I'm glad that the guys that's bought in are bought in, because that let me know that we got some dogs. Kirby Smart barely smiles, bro. Like I love that. I love that he's all business. You know what I mean? So that's what we need in the head coach, and we got it, and we're gonna continue to have it. And if you scared, go to church. No disrespect to the church going people. That's Kirby philosophy. If you want people who are willing to compete, that's how you separate the good from the elite. Facts, and that shit rhyme. Facts. Yeah, they don't want to work. My dad always said, finish what you start. Facts. That's why I say you got to think, man, these guys are getting paid nowadays. So when you think about it, they mainly looking at the money. You know what I mean? So when you start involving money, then guys start slacking up. They don't play as hard when you start adding the money. So that's why I like the fact that Kirby does have a mission. And I know that, excuse me, Doc. I know that most programs have some type of mission. Ours is not to be hunted, you know what I mean, and to play for each other. We to play as a family. And I think that Kirby does a great job getting them guys to buy into that, man. Because a lot of guys, especially young guys, like if you think of guys like Nate Frazier when he was on, he wasn't on Club Shay Shay, but he was on the channel with Shannon Sharp and Ocho, and they interviewed him, and he would talk about what it is to be at Georgia and what it is to play for Georgia. And the fact that I was just looking at him and I'm just reading him the whole time, and I'm like, Kirby Smart doing a damn good job getting these guys to buy in to his mission at the University of Georgia, because it's a lot of guys, a lot of they only think about themselves. They just want the money. They just want to start. They don't care if you ain't gonna start them. They leave it like. But the fact that guys like Nate Frazier is bought in and he's fully into the University of Georgia. He's from California, so yeah, man. Like Kirby does a great job, and I gotta give all credit to Kirby for doing that. You know what I mean? You said Saban never really smiled either. Yeah, to me that's what makes a great coach. When I was growing up playing football, our coaches didn't do no smiling either. They cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? So when I start seeing Shane Beamer type of coaches, I know what time it is. That's why Shane Beamer is looking the way he looking now. You don't see him smiling too often now, do you? You don't see that smile on his face like he had in the 23 season. You don't see that, do you? That's because you did too much smiling. You need to coach these boys up. It's about business, especially with the fact that we got NIL out there giving y'all. We paying y'all money, so it's supposed to be for the love of the game. I get it. These are kids. I get it. But you made it a business. Excuse me. I'm congested, y'all. I'm sorry, but you made it a business when you added money to football. So at the end of the day, I need you to get to the business. Damn all this smiling. We can smile after the game. We can talk about how well you did or whatever the case may be. But while we in this game, we got our game face on and we strictly been. And that's why the whole game against Bama in the SEC championship, I was like, all right, we scored, all right, but let's not do too much celebrating. Let's say, okay, we can clap it up for them for scoring, but at the end of the day, let's get back to work, because we know that any minute the light switch can turn off. But the fact that we beat them at all three phases of the game, we wasn't gonna lose that anyway. But still, I wanted to make sure that we had that game face on, because I already know. Hey, sometimes you can slip up. So you can't be smiley, cheesy and all that shit. That shit don't work. Not at the University of Georgia, man. And when I start seeing Kirby smiling, I know we in trouble. Yeah, the A&M game. In fact, Mr. Cizo Hawk, that was a complete letdown for South Carolina. For them to lose that game, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that was the worst loss in history that I can remember. Like, that was the worst loss I had ever seen in I don't know how long. But you don't see him smiling, do you? You don't see him patting his players on the ass when they did wrong. And I used to see him do that shit all the time. I used to always talk about it on my channel too. Like, what is this? What kind of head coaching is this? Like, they're not winning the game. Why are you patting them on the ass? Like, what? You know what I mean? But hey, that's the way he do things over there at South Carolina. That's why they ain't doing nothing. They ain't did shit all season. That's why they ain't in the playoffs. They didn't play for no championship. And he will be soon out the door as well. If he have a losing season next season, I think he'll be out the door as well. I got to cut this fan off because boy, it's getting bad with my congestion. But yeah, man, it's all about just just keeping these guys bought into your mission at your program, and I think we do a great job at that. That's one thing that I really can say about Kirby Smart is that no matter what star of a quarterback we have, we seem to get the job damn done. You know what I mean? So hey, man, it's all kudos to Kirby Smart. I seen somebody AI'd a picture of him with a Michigan shirt and hat on, and I just laughed at it. I didn't even go to the comments to see if it was true or anything like that. I think they did that also. They AI'd him for South Carolina. They AI'd him for a couple of other teams, and I'm like, wow, like the whole college football wants Kirby Smart so bad. They also said that he was talking to somebody and he had an interview with somebody. I'm like, wow. So, man, listen, man, we got one of the best coaches in college football, if not the best coach in college football, and everybody wants him. So we got to cherish Kirby Smart. You know what I mean? We can't let him go. He got to stay for that. I don't think he's going nowhere. That's why I was so glad when he did hire Mike Bobo. I was one of those people that was a little glad about it because I felt like, okay, both of these guys are from Georgia. Both of these guys played at Georgia. I feel like they had like it was due. They felt like that was their mission to, dominate at the University of Georgia. Both of these guys played for Georgia. I feel like that was a good deal. Your head coach and your offensive coordinator together, a duo, I thought that would be very good. And as we can see far this season, Mike Bobo hadn't done too bad. Like a lot of times we talked about being vanilla. But when you really go back and watch the tape, you got to think about it. If he don't have a deep threat, all he had, like, you got to think, when Kobe Young was in, y'all remember how he was slinging that thing around? When Kobe Young was there, you remember the season when we had Carson Beck, he was slanging that ball around. That's the thing about Mike Bobo. He doesn't want to do the bubble screens. But if you don't have a guy that can go up for a 50-50 ball, you don't have no choice. Zach Branch is very good, but he's not a tall wide receiver. He can't, I'm not going to say he can't, but he's not known to go up and grab a 50-50 ball. So you're going to have to kind of, do a screen pass to him. And he seemed to, be explosive even when you do throw a screen pass. But I think that's the key to it that a lot of people is missing. He does not have that deep threat guy. So that's why we see all of the bubble screens. And what comes with the bubble screens is your tight ends protected. So your tight ends got to do more blocking. So that's why we don't see a lot of tight end play going on. So y'all got to really pay attention to think about what's really going on. I'm telling you, when you go back and watch the tapes, you'll really see, okay, I see what Major's saying now. Like, he don't have a threat. He don't have nobody to go down. We might say, well, he got Noah Thomas. Look at Noah Thomas' stats. Noah Thomas is not a Kobe Young. You know what I mean? He I'm not saying he can't go down and make good catches, but he hasn't been known to, at least not yet. So that's why we're doing the bubble screenings, because we know we're going to have way more success getting into Zachariah Branch than risking it going downfield with Noah Thomas. Or, like I said, the tight ends, they can't really go out because they got a block for that bubble screen. Kirby would die dog words from his own lips. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think high school will coach different now that many of these kids have to play immediately due to not being able to stockpile talent? No, that's a loaded question. Do you think high school will coach differently that now that many kids have to play immediately due to not being stopped? I don't know. I don't know if they'll coach differently. I wouldn't say they would coach differently. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but that's such a loaded question in my opinion. I don't know how to put that, but I don't think they would coach differently. I don't know if it would change anything because it's got to translate over to college football anyway. So no matter how you coach, you still gonna have to going to college is like advanced training. So you still got to get that advanced training to be a dog anyway. So you hit it right on the head, Major. Bobo using what he got on the field. That's what I'm telling y'all. That's what I'm telling y'all. Like Bobo, he doing what he got. Like I said that early on. He doing what he can do with the guys that we have. I keep hearing the thing about Cam Coleman from Auburn transferring to Georgia. I haven't seen anything on Cam Coleman actually publicly saying that, but there is a chance, right? Hugh Freeze gone. They got whoever they got over there right now. I'm not sure if he's, willing to stick around. He might decide to stick around with Auburn, but the only two guys that I've heard about is Kalen Barnes and Tavion Wallace. I think Kalen Barnes, I think he might be a safety, and we're gonna need somebody alongside of KJ Bolden, right? So I have heard about Khalil Barnes. I might have said Khalil Barnes and Tavion Wallace. Those two guys are what I'm hearing that may transfer to the University of Georgia, but we still don't know until it actually happens. I really appreciate your channel. I appreciate your engagement with us. Oh, yeah, you already know, Jessica. You already know I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Because I want to know what everybody think. That's my thing. I'm not one of those channels that's going to sit here and talk because, and I still do that. I ramble on about something, but at the same time, I still want to know what everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all help me. So it's just like, and then y'all may have some intel that I don't actually have. So that's why I don't mind engaging, seeing what everybody talking about. You know what I mean? But yeah, at the end of the day, we definitely gonna be live Friday night at 8 p.m. You know what I mean? We're gonna see what Alabama got going on as far as that game goes, Alabama and Oklahoma. And then at 3 o'clock Saturday, we're gonna be live for the Tulane Ole Miss game. We pretty much know what's gonna happen with that game, but at the same time, I think that the transfer portal is definitely gonna be needed. Hey man, appreciate you, Jessica, man, because she just hit the Cash App. I got to give you a round of applause, man. I got to give it to you for supporting the channel, man. I don't tend to ask y'all for much, but anytime you want to help support the channel, man, you could definitely, send me a super chat. I think they call it a super thanks or something now. And then you also can send me a Cash App as well, man. I appreciate you, Jessica, for doing that. Shout out to Jessica for that one, man. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying, man. I actually forgot what I was saying. But at the end of the day, oh yeah, that's why I was talking about, like, with the transfer portal. I think that we're gonna need somebody. We're gonna need some pass rushers. You know what I mean? When it comes to Trinidad, we're gonna need somebody off the edge when it comes to Trinidad. Because if you go back and watch that last game, man, Trinidad wasn't bullshitting with us. We started playing better in that game, and I'm one of the first ones that spoke on the fact that that's when we start turning it up a notch. When I think we got in our bag from that game on. But Trinidad wasn't no joke in that game, y'all, if you can remember. So we're gonna need somebody to get off that edge and get the job done. Now, I'm hearing something happen with Gabe Harris. I'm hearing something happen with him. Man, listen, I hope everything is good. I hope he'll be ready. You know what I mean? I know we still got Raylan Wilson, CJ Allen. You got guys like Justin Williams. You got guys like, what is his name? Is his name Zayden Walker? Like, you got a lot of guys that, are getting experience, but we going to need somebody to contain Trinidad ass, because he going to want to win this game. Straight to Cash App. Don't want them YouTube keeping no percent. Hey, man, I appreciate you, because they definitely do keep a percentage. You know what I mean? So, hey, I appreciate you, Jessica. Usually if someone like Cam Coleman transfer out of the Auburn or Alabama, they don't want to go to UGA. Those are bona fide rival schools. Hey, Mac, you hit that on the head, Mac. You hit that on the head. Caleb Downs went to Ohio State. Facts. Yep. And a lot of times it's like that. That's how I know what you talk about, Mac, because a lot of players that come from Alabama or Auburn, especially if that's the teams that they wanted to play for, yeah, they definitely ain't gonna come to Georgia. But we just never know. I heard Turf Toe. Yeah, Turf Toe. Davin Beverly was talking about it today. Yeah, somebody came and told me about it today. I didn't even know about it. So I was like, wow. Like, I don't know if he'll be ready to go, but I think he'll be ready to go. I don't think that it's going to be that bad, but who knows? We just never know. But we're going to need guys like him, you know what I mean? Because playing up against Trinidad, man, we have, he's a talented quarterback, right? He can get you in the air. He can also get you with his legs, but he's better with his legs. So we're going to have to make sure that we're playing dominated ass football. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this guy got a game. You know what I mean? He already playing against Tulane. We don't play anybody. So my thing is, I'm just hoping that we fully prepared for that game. That's all I want to say, because I know it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season, especially a team like Ole Miss that is pretty decent. They're not like a pushover type of team. So I don't want to get it twisted thinking that, Georgia just the best, and we just going to do. Nah, man, these guys ain't got nothing to lose right now, and they coming for our head. Trinidad talking about he don't know if he will be back at Ole Miss next season, so he's prepared or worried about leaving. Nah, I think Trinidad gone. Jessica. I think Trinidad might be a senior. He could be a junior, but I think he might be a senior. Trinidad is gone, man. I don't think he'll come back. I doubt it. This liquor ain't working, y'all. Still congested. All right, man, we got 33 people in the chat from my end. From the looks of it on my end, I only got 11 likes, man. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Let's get them likes up, man. If you ain't already liked or if you ain't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man. It just helps things grow. You know what I mean? It just helped the channel grow. That's all it's about. You know what I'm saying? Growth with the channel. Y'all been doing very good. You know what I'm saying? My last video did pretty good, man. If you hadn't watched that video, go check that video out. I was talking about transfers as well in that video. But, Make sure y'all hit that like button and keep things rolling. I'm gonna go for another couple of minutes, and probably like another 11 minutes, and then we gonna be out of here. But anything anybody else got to say, man, go ahead and throw it in the chat as far as transfers, because like I said, it's early right now, but I know it's a lot of guys that we see throughout the season that may decide. Like, I could pull a list up right now of the guys that as far as the transfer portal goes. I could actually pull a list up to show y'all some of the guys, but I really don't feel like doing that. I only got 10 minutes left right now. You know what I'm saying? I should have done that earlier in the live, but I think we did enough talking. It's only mainly two guys that I've seen that's actually been talked about, and I'm gonna say it again, that's Khalil Barnes and Tavion Wallace. Y'all go check them out. You know what I mean? Like Mac say, get them likes up, man. Shout out to Mac. He stayed down too, man. Yeah, he stayed down too, for real. Shout out to Mac. I gotta make Matt a mod too. Yeah, I gotta make Matt a mod. Yeah, gotta make Jessica mod too. Yeah, that way y'all can get them suckers out of here when they start coming in trying to hate on the dogs. Where do you find this list? What list are you talking about, Jessica? You talking about I can show you where you can find it for those who want to find that the list of the guys going in the transfer portal. Are you talking about that? If you're talking about the guy, okay, the transfer portal, I can show you right now. Let me see. I gotta open up my internet real quick. All right. Let me see. Just give me a second, y'all. I'm finna pull it up right now. Let me pull it up right. Let me see, because they didn't pull up what I wanted. Yeah, but I could definitely show you exactly some of the guys that's already in it, I would say. They already entered their names. Let's go down to 20. Let me see. Trying to pull it. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Hold on just a second, y'all. I don't know why it's not showing. Why is it not pulling up now? Come on now. Hold on just a second. I don't know why it's not pulling up. It's acting stupid. There it is. There it is. All right, can y'all see that? I'm sure y'all could probably see this. So you would just go to the college football. You would just type in, like, what I'm saying, transfer portal. You know what I mean? I use 24/7 Sports. They're pretty legit. And you'll get to see some of the guys that's already, going to be in for the 2026. See, this guy right here, Brendan Sorsby, he entered in on the 15th of this year. DJ Lagway, he entered in on the 15th. Everybody looked like, well, Dylan Raiola. Wow, Georgia. Wow, dogs. I did not know. I got that ad, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I did, bro. I did not know that Dylan Raiola was going into the transfer portal. Wow. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Dylan Raiola. Wow. Hey, I swear that's funny. That's very funny to me. I didn't see this coming. Y'all. I thought that Nebraska was the spot. I thought that this is where he wanted to be because of the family. But these are the guys, though. I don't want to focus on him. It is what it is. We could possibly land him again. You know what I mean? You got Kenny Minchie. He went in on the 8th. So this is really the list right here. They got the positions right here on the side. Right now, it's the quarterbacks. I guess it's just the quarterbacks right now. Let me see. Let me go down some more. Yeah, it looked like a bunch of quarterbacks already done went in. So you could just go through that list and kind of see, who you think would be a good fit. Go watch them and see who you think who be a good fit, and then you go by position. So I would want to get a wide receiver if it's up to me, and pick up some of the wide receivers. Uh, it don't have the date that they're because it normally had the status as y'all seen from the last page, but these are the wide receivers right here. Some of the wide receivers, and the list goes on, man. You got a lot of guys, man, that will be going somewhere. That's why they got the question mark right here on the side. They will be going somewhere. So yeah, got some guys in there. So that's all to it, though. That's all to it. So that's just all to it, though. You just go to it. You know what I mean? You check them out. You know what I mean? Then you go and you know you just go and check out the film and see what they all about. Go watch the games and see what they all about. You said I got that ad, bro. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. You said yeah, he's in there. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. What you think about him? I think that if old boy Dylan Raiola comes back, that'll be cool. It'll be cool. I don't know how well it'll work out, but it'll be cool. It'll be funny. I'll be laughing because you did all of that work to come to Georgia, and you was over there trying to recruit Jeremiah Smith, but then you turn around and flip on us. So I would laugh at it. But I don't know, Mac. It could be a good idea to grab, I've been talking about grabbing a quarterback. So what better quarterback than to grab somebody that was already committed? But who knows? You know what I'm saying? Don't see UGA going for the portal quarterback. More likely Gunnar Puglisi all return. Yeah, I mean, money, more money, dog. It's just mainly just the thought of it. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of people tend to think that we won't get anybody, and if you just judging based on the history at Georgia, we don't tend to get quarterbacks a lot. But at the same time, I'm just judging based on if something was to happen to Gunnar Stockton, and then you still got a small crowd out there that believe that Gunnar Stockton will enter the draft. So I'm just thinking to be on the safe side. Yeah, you got Ryan Puglisi, Ryan Montgomery, but neither one of those guys really have any real good experience. So if anything was to happen to Gunnar, I would love for the coaching staff to draw in a quarterback so that we can have at least experience on our side rather than just having talent, because I feel like both of those quarterbacks, and Ryan Puglisi and Montgomery, I feel like both of them are very talented, but I would rather have an experienced guy versus a guy that's just talented. You know what I mean? Because you got to think both of those guys are freshmen. You know what I mean? Neither one of those guys really have much experience. And the way we've been playing so inconsistent all season up until Ole Miss, the way we have been playing, we really didn't get enough time to see Ryan Puglisi. So, I think he only got 161 passing yards on the season. So it's just like we didn't get a whole lot of time to see him, but I still believe that if he ran with the ones, I think he'll be good. But just in case something happens, I think that we need to go ahead and bring. But, who knows? King of all kings, what's up, man? Sub and chat, yeah, man. He would be a great pickup. Yeah, I think it's good for anybody. Those three positions, the quarterback position, the wide receiver position, and the linebacker position. I think those three positions we do need to pick up at least one player. I'll bet one of them. You know what I mean? But who knows? We just got to wait to January to see what Kirby Smart is thinking. Kirby Smart knows best, so we got to kind of let him, decide who he want to pick up, whether it's a quarterback, linebacker, or wide receiver. He might pick up an offensive lineman. You might pick up a defensive lineman. Who knows? But I just think if it was me, those are the positions that I would pick. Get a guy on transfer portal for. But yeah, it's a lot of guys in there. It's a lot of guys to choose from. Some guys are fit, some guys maybe not. But I think regardless, we'll be good. I think we're gonna grab somebody, just don't know who. But regardless, I think we're gonna be good because once you come over to the University of Georgia, you can't help but to be a dog, man. And yeah, make sure y'all get the like button. Shout out to Mac, man, for saying that. What quarterback is going to sign on to a backup quarterback out of the portal? They looked at Mendoza and Arnold last year and didn't make a move on. And now Gunner has the experience. What quarterback is going to sign on to be a backup out of the portal? I'm not saying as a backup, brother. All I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, if something was to happen to Gunner Stockton, where he leaves for whatever reason, he enters the draft, or he end up getting hurt, I would rather have a quarterback come in out of the transfer portal so that we would have experience over Ryan Puglisi. Ryan Puglisi does not have experience, so I would rather take experience over anything. So that's the point that I'm making. I'm not saying that that's what they're gonna do. I'm just saying that the point that I'm making is we may need a quarterback because Gunner Stockton could possibly get hurt. If Gunner Stockton gets hurt, I don't know if Ryan Puglisi could command this team like that. Excuse me, I'm congested still. I don't know. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know if Ryan Puglisi could run this offense, you know what I mean? So if something was to happen to Gunner Stockton, I would rather, like I said, I would rather have the experience of a quarterback out of the transfer portal. I'm not saying get a transfer in to sit behind Gunner Stockton. Nah, I'm not saying that. And that's what he would be doing initially. That's what he would be doing. But I still feel as if it's better. I mean, there's plenty of guys that came in. I remember when Alabama grabbed that guy from the Chinese guy. You know what I'm saying? When they grabbed him, eventually he started for Alabama or whatever. But, my thing is just making sure that things is right. Ryan Puglisi, we don't know much about him. You know what I mean? A lot of guys ain't even sold on him yet. You know what I mean? So that's just my whole thing to it. I get what you're saying, though. Sitting behind, why would you come out of the transfer portal and sit behind somebody and be a backup? I get that. But, hey, they got to go somewhere, right? So, you just never know. Need 2 wide receivers, defensive edge, and a safety. I get that, but quarterbacks are looking for a path to play or better situations. That's what they are in the portal. Yep, that's true. That's true. I get it. That's true. I believe exactly what you're saying. They looking for somewhere to go to play or whatever the case may be. I just want us to have some experience just in case everything go wrong. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. But anyway, man, I appreciate everybody that supported me tonight. I appreciate everybody that came in the chat. You know what I mean? Talk they talk, say what they thought. You know what I mean? Always be a good turnout whenever I go live, man. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to get out of here because I'm very congested and I want to take something for my congestion so that I can go ahead and lay it down and get over this little cold, man. So y'all stay tuned for more from the Doghouse. I will be live Friday night at 8 p.m. Alabama versus Oklahoma. So y'all come out, rock out with me. You know what I mean? Bring your cups, bring your drinks, bring your smoke, whatever you do. We're going to be live. So stay tuned for that, man. Y'all already know what time it is. I'm your host, Major. This is the Doghouse, and I'm gone, man. Go Dogs.